their interest in this project, et cetera, et cetera. In the beginning of this year, we took that information back to Carkit and Hints to develop a third round of research, which is this final conceptual plan we're presenting tonight. So this is completing the process of that RFP issued at the beginning of last year. We're very excited to present this to you. I have Michael Hammerhand, FAIA here today, who is one of the principals at the firm, a very well-respected preservation architect in the state of New Jersey. And he and his team have done an incredible job in creating a project here and a floor plan that is both sympathetic to the building and its unique characteristics, while being an incredibly flexible floor plan that is not just thinking about our needs today, but our needs in the long term. There's a lot of flexibility in this floor plan in the way that rooms are laid out and the way that things can be used in the long term. So it's a very future-proof design we've got for it. So without further ado, I'd like to hand this over to Mr. Hammerhand, who's going to run us through this final conceptual phase, and then he, myself, and probably Mr. Crane will explain kind of the next steps.
Minister.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here tonight. It's a pleasure to be back before you. I'm going to get my steps in, going back and forth to the projector, so I just beg your patience with me here tonight.
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Or do you want to?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Next one?
Yes. So, as Greg mentioned, tonight is sort of the final concept plan. Our charge, as you know from your RFP, was to work with the townships, in particular the Historic Commission, to create a vision for the building, what it could be, what its possibilities are, while still respecting the integrity of the building, the history of the building, and also just being practically minded, not just go in and really demolish everything. The plan that I'm going to present momentarily is the conclusion of a process that was both iterative and collaborative with the township, and we appreciate that process. And it is consistent with your original ask. The plan evolved from multiple options. We presented 3 options to the Historic Commission many months ago at this point. We brought those back before you last year, so you had an opportunity to see those, to comment on those. And those plans, the committee took and got community input on. And it was sort of a validation of the work that was being done. Is there an interest in preserving this building for the township? Is there a use for it? And I think, the answer is yes, there is. The group consulted with 20 organizations approximately. There's an idea of the types of spaces and needs the town has and what the building can support. To be refined as you move forward, if you move forward with the process. But there's overall a desire to save energy. So, what I believe is page 3 of your book. I apologize if they're not with you. The first thing we did is we went about developing an overall vision for the entire facility. So, here, we're showing a plan that respects much of the integrity of the building. It is reimagining a small porch on the side of the building, kind of fronting the little green courtyard behind me. And the entrance would be off the side there, and that's where accessibility would happen via a ramp to the building. You would enter the building from the side. As you enter, to your right would be the area in light blue, that baby blue color. There is an area allocated for township office, whatever they may be. But you're going to spend a fair amount of effort to restore this building. The best form of historic preservation is occupancy. So to have somebody there to know the window got left open, to know something leaks, somebody can see it before it becomes a major problem. To the left would be a little parlor where we're creating an elevator. Location of that elevator was carefully chosen because we can connect all 3 floors of the house to make the staircase that are in green are anticipated to be the town museum, with respect to the history of the town itself. But because of how beautiful they are, those rooms have the most historic fabric in place currently. They could serve as sort of pre-function space also for the multi-purpose room. So there's an eye towards everything doing multiple jobs here, so the township gets sort of the most bang for the buck. If you were to kind of turn left and go down the long corridor, not so long really, there are a few restrooms, men's room, ladies' room, unisex restroom, and a warming kitchen. There isn't cooking on site per se, but caterers can come in, they can put in their parts, they can still serve meals in the multi-purpose room. And then the back, two-story porch, we're envisioning that as a staircase. Per building code, every building needs 2 ways out in the event of a fire. Should one get blocked, you have the ability to go to the other one, so that is your location, your second means of egress. And all of this gets rid of the elements of the fire escape that's there. Good. Moving up on the next page, on the left is the second floor. Same orientation. Here, if you were to come up the central stair, the front of the building is deliberately flexible. The groups that commented on the process, there was a need for gallery space, there was a need for township meeting space. So that zone of bluish gray, if you will, serves that purpose. And if you had a community art show, they certainly open to one another and have a really great flexible space, but they also have the ability to be closed off and serve as individual meeting spaces, if you will. And the other main programmatic feature on the second floor in orange are these collaboration or study rooms. It is one of the things that the library, very close by, identified as a need for efficiency in their spaces currently. So these are rooms that, sometimes people rent, revenue generation. People run a small business out of them, they can rent them for the day, or tutors rent them, tutoring, or kids come and they work on new projects, for school or college or something, and then increase some additional restrooms. The third floor, a little challenging. It's not intended to be really programmatic space. It's only served by one staircase, which means you really not putting people up there. But it is certainly a place that the town can use for storage. I'm sure Public Works or anybody has a lot of stuff that they need to store. And the elevator does go to the third floor, so we're moving those things. Plus the heading. So that was the full build-out, the full vision for the facility. We were also asked, okay, and if we were to do a first phase, what would that be? We always recommend that first thing you do is button up the envelope of the building. Leaks, get the roof right, get the windows modernized, fix the siding, if you will. And here we're showing that happening. Minimal site work. In the previous plans, you saw sort of a nod to historic gardens that were envisioned for the campus at one point in time. Here, they're much more dialed back to just sort of plantings around the perimeter of the building and the first floor. So at the end of the first phase of construction, not only do you stabilize the building, you have usable space. You have space for the town to occupy, somebody to see what's going on in the building, and it's space for the community. And future phases could be the second floor, the third floor. Also on the first floor, there's no need to build that second staircase if you're not inhabiting the other floors right away. Gives you an opportunity in that back porch for additional conference space. So again, just identifying what a phase could look like. So all of this, thank you. Your report. Everything I'm presenting tonight will be wrapped up in a report that town council should see within about 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. And that will identify the concepts that the process that we went through, the concepts that we did, so the history of that, conversations that were had, and kind of the final plan. next steps, the town committee, assuming there's an appetite to move forward, the town committee, township committee should prepare and approve the local budget. The committee should also authorize an architect, authorize an architect to develop a definitive space program. Really drills down, right now it's conceptual, really drills down and becomes more detailed design documents. Perhaps you would work with an construction manager or a project management firm, and get their input, and we would recommend that minimally you go through schematic design. Obviously, you go through the whole process, but all architects kind of work in a very similar process. There's schematic design, design development, construction documents. It's essentially going from 30,000 feet down into the weeds is sort of the process. So if you get through schematic design, the reason is that each of those milestones, you can re-estimate the project. Gives you a chance to make sure you're still on budget, course correct if you need to. You know, there's a little bit of chaos in the world right now, so in terms of costs, it gives you opportunities to course correct. The town committee should also do two other things. You should approve a project financing plan. That's not something that would necessarily include me, but there are financing options and funding resources out there that are worth exploring. It may not be what you want to do, but they're worth exploring because free money is free money. And the town committee should prepare and approve an operation and maintenance plan for the building. So it's not just enough to get it nice and pretty on day one, but how are you going to ensure the long-term viability of the building? Again, I believe that something that should be considered. So that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. I just, before you go, so you talked about the overall cost of the project, which we know we're not talking about tonight, we'll talk about probably next month, I'm assuming. Will you be able to lay out for us, if we do this in one phase or two, what the cost differential would be?
Absolutely.
And then I know Greg and I have been having conversations, exploring possible funding opportunities. Will you be able to provide that information for us next month as well?
Yes, I think our plan is to have something to y'all next month, possibly another presentation.
With the funding opportunities?
Yeah, so I think, I mean, I think that we'll probably be discussing those things in the August meeting. There are a lot of opportunities out there, for funding, both programmatic-based opportunities, some preservation-focused opportunities. All of them come with pluses and minuses. Pluses and minuses when it comes to overhead that comes with the funding. Some of them, heavy reporting or heavy regulatory. Some things might require an A and a B to get to the funding. So we'd have to discuss those. So I'm planning to put together a report for all of you. I'm thinking probably for the August meeting that would have some opportunities in those spheres and pros and cons to thinking about each one. And, it could come to use some of them, none of them, but I want to make sure that we lay out the possibilities and consider them.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for, just
Absolutely.
because I saw this this project from the beginning. I've sat with you and Mr. Francois,
Yes.
we've done a lot of work, and I don't want to see it go by the wayside, so I'd like
Absolutely, I agree.
to keep the ball rolling while it's rolling.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and appreciate, all of you have been very supportive through this whole process. And we definitely appreciated, supporting and funding this program. All the support, we've gotten a ton of support from, Mark, so I really appreciate his assistance through this whole process. Certainly a learning experience for many of us on the Historic Sites Committee, just on procedures. It's been fun as much as anything, so. I look forward to next steps, and hopefully next month we'll be back to all you. Sean?
I got two questions.
Yes.
But going through this, and I know we've been talking for a while since the first time we met, what do you like about this project the most? And what do you think the biggest challenge will be in moving this forward? Knowing what you know now. Not to put you on the spot, but I did.
Question I always get.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge that I see is of those funding opportunities that Greg will outline for you, some of those are preservation-oriented funding. We're experts at dealing with those. It requires the building to be eligible for listing on the National Register, and then ultimately listed. Sometimes there's some fear of doing that. People think that this places a burden or restrictions on things moving forward. Also think there's a lot of misinformation
Yes.
And
the
then
King George Inn.
the King George Inn, which was torn down.
2019.
2019. You know, I think that there was maybe some, regret that that happened to some folks. And I think that this is an opportunity to make some of it right. But that's just my personal.
No, yeah, thank you.
Kind of to what he was saying, you know, in this report, you know, we're gonna talk about national registry, the National Register, and some of these challenges. So one of the things I also want to put in that report is kind of layman terming what, I mean, also being in the preservation industry, understand to be a complicated process, you know, a lot of confusion in it. So I will try and also put in that both for yourselves and presumably something that in some degree public document. Try and explain the National Register in a way that if you Google the National Park Service website, you might not understand if you're not in preservation. So you can understand both, as Michael was saying, these pros and these cons. Yes, sir.
I think the opportunity, that's what I pursue, is, not far from here in Long Hill Township, they have a one-room schoolhouse that we were involved in, its restoration, and the building isn't necessarily remarkable from an architectural point of view. The Hofheimer house, there's some history because of its association with the Hofheimer family and General Motors. Most of Hofheimer's fame kind of came after, you know, so it's not like it's connected to the house. I think the stronger story to tell is the building's been here, it's evolved over time as the town evolved, and that's how we were able to, in milling communities in Long Township, get that building ultimately listed. So it's really kind of in the storytelling process.
To get it listed. And they change that, they determine if something is eligible every 25 years, right? I found out like this is now eligible because it's,
So it's a 50-year qualification period. So this being 2025, buildings built 1975 and earlier are eligible, which
I
obviously
thought
this
it
is
was
1909.
25.
No, it's 50 years, with exceptions for very significant buildings. Some recent, a recent way that you might have seen that would be something like related to the Apollo program that would have gotten registered in the 70s or 80s. You know, we're talking about that level of significance, groundbreaking American stories that have to be preserved almost immediately.
but when we spoke to the woman from the state, she kind of led me to believe that it's not out of the realm of possibility that this could be listed.
Absolutely not.
Which is my words, Kurt, it's not a slam dunk.
Not a
That's
slam
what
dunk.
I'm trying to say.
If-
It's how we
I
present
think you
it.
have a puncher's chance.
Okay.
But if it was denied by the State Historic Preservation Office, it would not be, how did that happen?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Any other questions?
I just want to, I want to thank Greg and all the members of the Historic Sites Committee that are here tonight for all their work on this. They are all volunteers, and you, based upon the presentation and all the work that Greg has done with the entire committee, you would think that they were full-time employees of the township. So just thank you very much for that.
I'm open to that.
We'll talk tomorrow. So thank you guys very much for all their work.
And I'd like to also thank Dan and Sean, and then Dan again. We've had 2 liaisons 3 times in the course of this project, but you guys have also been to a lot of meetings, and Lisa went to meetings this year with us on this project as well. And I really appreciate that you guys took a lot of your time, you know, when the role was there, to help us with this project.
This was
Something
my
I'm
first
very-
township meeting.
It was?
Invited me to it, yeah, Dad invited me. Yep.
Yeah.
It's something I'm very passionate about. So
Yeah, I really
I'm eager to be involved.
Yeah. So,
Thank you very
Nice
much.
work.
Thank you.
Thank you.